19 years ago, a loser named Saito suddenly gets isekai'd into another world after defeating a demon lord. That too without clothes. He immediately gets fancied by a mother-daughter duo on his quest to become the greatest mage. The story begins, and on the board, MC commands knight to e4. The demon lord, last boss standing. Saint Ange and hero Kane watch nervously, while MC wonders when he'll finally get smacked. He can't believe Kane's flash move actually worked that well. MC snaps his fingers at Ange for the healing miracle, which she hands over. Then he orders the bishop to copy-paste it onto Kane, shield him, and smack the demon lord. The bishop hits so hard that the demon lord screams like someone stepped on a Lego. Ange's impressed by the strategy, but MC notices her concern for Kane, hinting that those two have already done the thing. MC tells Kane to smack the demon harder, partly to break the tension. Meanwhile, Great Mage Mulan and Holy Knight Riza are cracking jokes, and MC knows they definitely hooked up too. Rolling his eyes, MC calls on the Queen's power. Kane tells Ange to quit dragging herself in, Riza tells Mulan to back off, and Mulan tells everyone to relax. MC's got this. Dude can solo the Demon Lord? MC didn't spend 19 years breaking his back in some mountain village under a god-tier master who probably just wanted free labor, just to watch everyone else turn the final battle into a dating sim. After training to the brink of death, he became the great sage, strong enough to throw hands with the Demon Lord, and with a slick knight to e4 move, he checkmates the big bad. Victory should feel sweet, but no. Kane and Ange are hugging like it's prom night, and MC's face twists like he just bit into spoiled milk. MC just pulled off a Code Geass-level checkmate. Coughing dramatically, clutching his chest, he announces he's going back to his old world, since Master Kate once told him about 3 magic doors that cross time and space, powered by tens of thousands of souls, which the Demon Lord conveniently had hoarded. Others thank him, even invite him to their weddings. But MC couldn't care less. This place was never really his. Just as he steps through the door, Ange blurts out she's always loved him. Mulan mutters he was too dense to notice, and Ange even cracks that Mulan once liked him too. They wish him happiness. The door shuts, until MC smashes it open again, shouting he's not going home. Kane reminds him he's got business back in Japan, but MC just tells him to shut up, because after 19 years of grinding while everyone else was busy hooking up, he's done letting anyone else write his ending. MCU scraps the idea of heading back to Japan, deciding that maybe happiness lies in sticking around, and for once testing out some lewd adventures. Kane and Riza are horrified, practically shoving him out the door like yesterday's trash, while the girls give up too, thinking he blew his chance. Just as MCU stumbles back, the door bursts open. Kane can't believe this stubborn guy still won't quit, and Ange realizes only his clothes remain. Kane tossed him out like Team Rocket, blasting off again. Meanwhile, MCU's body is twisting through time and space like spaghetti in a blender, unsure if he's rising, falling, or just ghosting existence. A mysterious voice assures him that Love's bond is still in play, though he hasn't the faintest clue what that means, showing him a girl he doesn't even recognize. The Queen, apparently fed up with his cluelessness, boots him back to his old world to start his real journey. He crash lands naked in a dumpster, where bystanders immediately scream for the cops. The police, annoyed that they were off duty, decided to nab him anyway. With no time to plead his case, MCU bolts, running up walls like Spider-Man on a sugar rush, praying this ridiculous start somehow leads to a good journey. MCU sprints home in the buff, ready to explain everything, only to realize he doesn't even remember where home is, let alone who his family might be. All he recalls is Master Kate's promise after the Demon Lord's defeat, that he'd be strong enough to return to his world, reclaim his true self, and finally find real happiness. Instead, the poor guy's got an empty stomach and a brain like a wiped chalkboard. Just then, a girl steps out to toss the trash and finds him sprawled on the ground like roadkill. Desperate, MC begs her not to scream, swearing he's a virgin, not a pervert, and promising he'll vanish if she lets him be. But then she asks if he is Tatsuya. Suddenly, a spark of memory ignites. The girl throws herself into his arms, crying and calling him a dumbhead for making her search so long, while MC stands there stunned, realizing maybe this crazy ride is the true start of the great sage's new journey. Kanako, the girl MC saw in that warped void, turns out to be his childhood friend, now grown. She inspects him and realizes he looks far too young for 34, while he nearly collapses. Before he can explain, Maya dumps buckets on him, calls him a pervert, then leaps from the balcony to kick his face, earning Kanako's scolding for the stunt. Kanako calmly says he's her old friend Tatsuya, while he feels a sting of jealousy seeing that she built a good life in the 19 years he was gone. She insists he bathe before he freezes, slyly blaming Maya that if he doesn't, he will die. Shivering through the ice-cold water, he thanks her when she brings Tora-san's suit, though Maya fumes at this freeloader wearing her dad's clothes. Tatsuya promises to wash the borrowed suit before returning it, wondering if it holds memories for Maya when Kanako invites him to join dinner over steaming, and ironically, she asks if he likes oyakodon. Is that foreshadowing? Grateful, he digs in, while Maya mutters that her mom is way too kind to this so-called pervert. Kanako gently insists he seems sincere, a man who's weathered plenty of storms, and her warmth even makes Tatsuya slip up and call her mama. Just as he's feeling accepted, Kanako's big brother walks in, the same cop Tatsuya dodged earlier, while Kanako rushes off to tend to customers, leaving Maya to watch him like a hawk. She warns him to eat and leave, but when he calls her mom by name, enchanted chains suddenly burst from photos and shelves, binding him. A sword flashes from under Maya's skirt as she demands to know how he sees the magic, ears and tail flaring in fury. Tatsuya smirks, realizing he can channel his otherworldly magic here, pulling out a chess pawn that shatters her sword and shikigami in one strike. Calmly, he explains he's no enemy, but the great sage MC Tatsuya, a 34-year-old who defeated the Demon Lord before returning after 19 years. Maya scoffs that his intro sounds lame, but grudgingly agrees to hear him out, then admits the Kasidzu clan and lower gods threaten her mom's life, proving Tatsuya's return isn't some accident, but destiny knocking at the door. Inside the clothing store, Kanako's big brother is busy modeling shirts while asking her if they suit him, but Tatsuya is too rattled by the revelation that Kanako's life is in danger to care. When Maya suddenly acts strangely, he assumes the threat is near, but it's just her stressing over the wrecked room from the broken chains. If Mama sees this mess, they're toast. With a cool flick, Tatsuya summons his bishop, which rewinds the chaos in a blink, leaving the place spotless and even restoring Maya's prized sword. Overjoyed, she calls it god-tier craftsmanship. Then, with a serious look, Maya explains that Kanako's eyes are being hunted by two groups: Japan's biggest devil clan, the Kashidzu, who want her eyes for power, and the Omnioji school, who stay neutral but won't risk those eyes falling into enemy hands. She adds that Kanako herself is a descendant of a devil family, born with all the clan's power condensed into her evil eyes, making her a ticking time bomb of monstrous energy. Tatsuya is floored, remembering the phrase, "takes it all," used for being strong enough to consume countless souls and open worlds, the very power the Demon Lord once wielded. The shocking truth hits him like a truck. Kanako's potential rivals the Demon Lord itself, though Maya assures him she hasn't awakened it yet. Kanako storms in, scolding them for not finishing dinner just as 5 intruders close in. The lights go out, Maya whispers that his magic might wake her mom's deadly eyes, and Tatsuya decides to handle it solo. He takes down a thug, takes a bullet through the eye, and still keeps swinging, furious that they ruined his dinner. With Queen and Bishop cleaning up the rest after taking down the Shrine Maiden, Miko, the lights return to Kanako, pouting over spilled food, while Tatsuya swears he'll eat it off the floor if needed. Maya begs her mom to let him stay, which Kanako mistakes for young love. She warns him not to try anything indecent, while Tatsuya, amazed he scored both a roof and a girlfriend in one night. He blurts his name, then panics, backpedaling, saying he's just your average guy. After being isekai'd back in 2002 and gone for 19 years, MC's blown away by modern gadgets and the fluffy pajamas of this era. Maya asks if Kanako called in sick for love, then drags the clueless sage to a hot spring while he secretly leaves a magical piece for Kanako's safety. Outside, Maya confirms he's her mom's childhood bestie, though he admits his memory's blank. She points out how much has changed, except the Tomyu Hotel, which she hopes doesn't catch Yakuza or Kashidzu's attention. Tomyu Hotel's still standing like it's Naruto's Ichiraku, untouchable through every gang war. Just when Tatsuya's warming up to the hot spring idea, a crowd of dudes swarms him, making him think he's been fox-tricked, only for Maya to explain they're friendly locals from the shopping district. Hearing Kanako's a widow shocks him, But the men nod when Maya says he's protecting her mom and living with them because Kanako trusts him. The gang admits they've been worried about the two women alone with rumors spreading in town, so they beg this average MC guy to take care of the woman they all admire. The sage agrees to help, and Maya swears he's their best shot at keeping Mama safe. On the bus, the driver just hopes Kanako's pick doesn't puke, but after 19 years without public transport, Tatsuya's looking greener than wasabi. At the shrine, things seem too quiet until Yuiku, a Vajra-blessed devil, shows up, promising outsiders won't leave alive. They clash, and while Yuiku powers up like a shonen villain, Tatsuya somehow blocks him, shocking even himself. Then, a Neki guy crash lands from the sky, Eizan, the guardian fox, who casually promises Maya protection. Yuiku backs off with a promise of next time, leaving Tatsuya rattled that he didn't sense either of them. That's a blow to his confidence, realizing the invincible Great Sage still has miles to go. Azan leads them to the hot spring shrine, where Lady Chiyo dives at Tatsuya, squealing that she's been waiting forever. At Yuko Village, Lady Chiyo's balloons knock Tatsuya out like a champ, leaving Maya fuming. Honestly, Chiyo's balloons hit harder than a one-piece punch. He dreams of his master nagging that a sage should know hearts and history, though he figures he should have expected this after all the hugs and slaps. He wakes in Azan's lap, meets another fox guard named Onzan, and soon Chiyo, now dressed, serves tea with cute animals while apologizing for earlier. She swears he's the spitting image of the legendary master who once saved a fox, killed a corrupt lord, ruled the land, then got whacked by a guy with cursed eyes. Chiyo explains that Kanako's husband died the same way, and Kanako's evil eyes make her a jackpot target. Maya insists Mama hasn't awakened her powers, but Chiyo says Shimogami kept it in check while the Kashidzu demand a fortune and her left eye as down payment. Tatsuya grills Chiyo about the killer, but all she knows is that the wounds matched the old master's, which screams Shimogami school to him. Turns out their discounted protection plan now comes with a marriage clause. He figures Shimogami's playing dirty, acting like allies while plotting to nab the Demon King's eye, is probably led by some crusty old NTR geezer. With Yakuza ties and a Shia Yuman in the mix, it's a mess, but Tatsuya decides he'll negotiate for Kanako, Maya, Chiyo, and the Yuko's safety, and if Shimogami won't play ball, he'll crush them. Queen pipes up, purring that her darling doesn't need love shackles anymore because the real adventure's just getting started. Tatsuya sets up a spot to negotiate with the Shimogami, grumbling about now guarding both Kanako and the Fox Princess, but he powers through, dropping a barrier so strong it stuns everyone, and leaving his rook and pawn behind as magical hotline operators. Dude is guarding Kanako and a Fox Princess. Bro's running a Spirited Away daycare with PTSD. When Maya draws her sword, Chiyo nearly faints seeing it reborn into the talisman once gifted by the old master, the very sign he'd return when peace was near. With the timing too perfect, Maya tells him he's free to do as he likes and drags him home. Chiyo, wanting to stay in touch, hands over her smartphone, turning Tatsuya into a giddy ball of joy. Maya teaches him to email her aunt, teasing that even her mom can handle a phone at 34, which makes him sulk. He hacks his new toy so it runs on sheer willpower, then demands answers about the Shimogami's sudden moves. Queen drops the bomb that the Shimogami Shrine Maiden is in their storage. Inside, they find Haruka, Maya's high school student council rep, who reveals she's a Nekomata and wants out before Shimogami kills her. After she spills that Kanako's evil eye is seen as a disaster omen, her charm glows with a deadly curse. Tatsuya dives deep to break it, facing a voice claiming to be Yuman, but declares himself the Great Sage MC instead, warning he's ready for a fight. Maya, blushing, mistakes the ritual for something indecent, but Tatsuya insists he was saving Haruka, who, done being used by creepy old men, agrees to fight alongside a strong Eichmann. Just like that, the sage scores a new ally. Haruka the Nekomata, fresh off ditching Shimogami, tags along while Tatsuya scratches his head over why the Kashidzu want Kanako's eyes. When she asks why he even came back, the guy admits his lifelong hunt for happiness somehow landed him here, memory wiped, stuck between two nasty factions, and still wondering if he'll ever score a kiss. Just as his midlife panic attack peaks, a Yakuza punk shows up pressuring Kanako to sell her shop, and Tatsuya's gut tells him something's off. Kanako bravely stands her ground but shakes like a leaf, then drops the bomb. The smooth talker is Ryuki, Tatsuya's own little brother. Shocked, Tatsuya keeps his mouth shut, vowing to step in before things get worse. Sure enough, the next morning, the shop's shutter is trashed, leaving Kanako cleaning up while Maya heads to school, trusting Tatsuya to handle it. That night, with Haruka at his side and his chess minions ready, he preps a Sicilian defense to smoke out the Yakuza, knowing damn well Kashizu's pulling their strings and swearing his kid brother won't run wild on his watch. This moron knew the gang would sniff out his traps, but he planted them anyway and still dropped in like a boss from the sky, sending Ryuki's goons flying with one clean back fist. Bro knew they dodged the traps and still dropped in like Sitma. The idiots cried foul. Ryuki panicked that this wasn't in his Kashizu deal, and suddenly the reinforcements bailed like it was happy hour. Turns out the Shimogami were the real backers, leaving poor Ryuki sweating bullets while Tatsuya told him to stay the hell out of the shopping district unless he wanted a beating. 2 weeks of tense peace passed, and Kanako finally shopped without looking over her shoulder, but Tatsuya stayed on edge. Then Ryuki showed up ready to spill something, only for a blondie to slap him with a curse and casually reveal she knew Tatsuya was the great sage. With a grin, she dropped the bomb that Kashizu had backed off after their Shimogami mess, and now wanted Tatsuya to take their whole organization under his wing. That's a shocker. Blondie's practically ready to kiss his feet like he's some holy relic, but Tatsuya, annoyed as hell, drags them inside before the whole street thinks a circus rolled into town. Then, bam! The warding pops up, blocking the riffraff, and Maya demands names. Blondie puffs up her chest and introduces herself as Ariona Rubalt, big shot director of the Rudimenmori National Trade Association, while casually dropping that the big busted Yakuza boss is actually a half-dwarf. Maya nearly chokes on the idea of dwarves being real, and Ariana brags about their metalwork like it's a sales pitch on late-night TV. Turns out, she's been running a solid gig until Kashizu shows up demanding Kanako's shop, then ditches them mid-game, leaving the Yakuza neck-deep in Shimogami heat. Poor Ryuki begs for help, and Tatsuya, soft spot showing, promises to shield him even if the little bro is dumber than a sack of bricks. Maya isn't buying the sob story, so the sage slaps down some shiny rhodium from another world like he's playing Monopoly, saying they'll sell it instead. Blondie's eyes light up like a slot machine, swearing she can flip his 2K into 400,000 yen, while Ryuki nervously hands over her business card. Just like that, Tatsuya goes from broke bum to interdimensional iron tycoon. Ryuki blurts that Tatsuya better guard his boss, Ariona, and the sage instantly pegs the kid for having a crush on Blondie. Planning to treat Haruka with his soon-to-be riches, he instead shows up with bento and ice cream, only to get roasted for not acting like a high-class man and ends up crying like a drama queen. Then Blondie calls saying they can rake in 5 billion, and this clown's already planning to buy the whole store. At home, Kanako eats the ice cream and recalls the exact taste from her childhood when a boy, Tatsuya, dragged her to the stall and bought her ice cream. She says he can stay even if he gets a job, but he insists on paying bills, so he doesn't look like a freeloader. Peace lasts half a month until Blondie barges in during the rain with a wrecked Ryuki, screaming that Shimogami attacked them. Shimogami showing up like Team Rocket, but with trauma and curses instead of Pokeballs. With Kanako's witnessing this accidentally, Ariana drops the bomb that Ryuki's his brother queen, says she can save him once. But no do-overs, and Tatsuya consents, while Kanako stares like her whole life just flipped. Tatsuya swears he'll explain everything to Kanako later, with Ryuki begging him to save his goons. He can't figure out why Shimogami's suddenly swinging when they ghosted his peace talks, but decides thinking is overrated and moves fast. Maya clings to him, demanding she gets a punch in too, and even though he tries pulling the mom card, she calls his bluff that if someone broke his wards, she'd be toast anyway. Haruka backs her up and somehow shoves Maya into bikini armor for spiritual stats, while Tatsuya ignores the cosplay chaos and charges in solo. He senses 9 people inside, but no magic. Then a goon spots him right before something lunges from behind, only for Maya and Haruka to tag team it like WWE divas. Tatsuya ships the injured off to Chiyo with Bishop on heel duty. A quick call confirms even Chiyo's wards got hit, so he beefs up defenses by sending knight and pawn to Kanako and Bishop and pawn to Chiyo. Meanwhile, Maya explains Shimogami's pulling a divide-and-conquer stunt, but Ariana ruined their script by moving first. Heading for her office, Maya warns it's a trap, Queen pops up calling him darling, and Maya nearly explodes. Tatsuya snaps that Queen can only hold her form short-term, so he's gotta leash her power, which explains her snack-sized body. With a teleport lined up straight into enemy turf, Queen insists on taking point, so Tatsuya hatches a plan to drop her in from above as the flashy distraction while he and Maya sneak through the front door like it's half-off ramen night. He shuts Maya down quickly, reminding her she doesn't get to play hero unless the goal's protecting Mama. Dropping in, he warns Shimogami that the price for messing with his girls is sky high. Queen calls out that the wards are toast and she's ready for an all-you-can-eat monster buffet, while Tatsuya cloaks up in stealth and preps for a lobby brawl where there's room to swing. He can't sense the magic inside, so he's on guard, then nearly chokes when an Emperor Ogre stomps in. A disaster-class beast straight out of Nightmare Fuel. That's when it hits him. He's not the only one hopping worlds, which explains the radio silence. Guess Master wasn't kidding about those 3 doors between worlds. Out of nowhere, a damn Emperor Ogre crashes into Japan like it owns the place, and Tatsuya's scratching his head why this Nightmare Fuel's even here. He remembers Master Kate's lesson about the 3 doors between worlds, one with Kate, one with the Demon Lord, and the last gone missing. And it clicks that Shimogami dragged the 3rd here. Queen admits she already swatted a griffin off the roof, which doesn't calm him one bit. He tells Queen to smack the ogre around while Haruka explains that Shimogami on Muji don't just summon monsters. They curse them to hit harder, move faster, and get freaky powers. Haruka's sweating bullets, thinking the ogre's ready for a snack, but Tatsuya's piece sucker punches it away. Meanwhile, at Chio's, Azan spots a monster arm popping through a portal, chopping the beast into Uber Eats deliveries. With Queen brawling, he sends Haruka and Maya to sniff out the Onmyuji pulling the strings. The girls creep through a horror movie hallway and run into an arachne dangling from the ceiling like a Halloween prank gone wrong. Turns out the damn thing's cursed with Miyage Nudo, growing every time someone glances up. Haruka calls the shots, Maya brings out her devil eyes, and together they smack the oversized bug back to hell, while Tatsuya watches, grinning that Maya really did inherit those cursed peepers. Tatsuya cuffs some poor bastard and tells Maya to peek into his brain for Shimogami's hideout and why they're drooling over Kanako's eyes and Chio's power. The guy rants about Master Yuman's greatness and building a brand new world, and Maya starts sweating like she just read spoilers for her own life. Next thing, the clown goes boom out of sheer jealousy for Tatsuya, leaving Maya to spill the tea. Shimogami wants Mama and Chio to fuel their hippie dream of ditching science and dragging the whole planet into another world of magic nature wonderland. Maya blurts out that Shimogami's cooking up a plan to yeet the whole Earth into another world, with Mama and Auntie Chio as the VIP sacrifices, and Haruka jokes that people probably rock video game armor over there. Tatsuya explains the Demon King once powered the door with 10,000 souls, so if Shimogami's got one, things are about to get really ugly. Maya's foaming at the mouth, wanting to smash Shimogami, while Tatsuya suspects the real party's in the basement. Sure enough, the girls hit a trap slide like it's a theme park from hell, talismans spitting monsters until Tatsuya swoops in swinging. He schools them that traps aren't just magic, but dirt, material, and switches, while his pawn mops up an onmyoji. Downstairs, they clear rooms full of nasties and booby traps, rescue hostages, and learn the floor boss is Yugen, a monster-summoning mage with juice like no other. Maya's shook, Haruka calls the other world trash, and Tatsuya shrugs that the toilets there are unsanitary, proving her point. Tatsuya's busy shipping hostages off to Chio when Haruka notices Maya's mama trauma spiking hard. Maya drops the bomb that Kanako always said her dad died in a car crash, but turns out the guy was a spirit too tough for Toyota. After chatting with Azan, she learns her dad crossed paths with Shimogami's Yugen. Right on cue, the door knocks, and Tatsuya knows the boss fight's here. Inside, Yugen greets him like an old drinking buddy, mocking Maya about her dad Jinichi, bragging that he let him peek at a family photo before killing him. Maya snaps, lands a hit, but Yugen's curse makes his creepy girl squad dogpile her. He flexes his curse of the ghost Tanuki, taunting Tatsuya with pervy time-stop jokes and saying if they kill him, the curse levels up. Yugen smirks that he waited for Maya to grow up just to break her, twisting her head into thinking Tatsuya killed her dad, while the great moron's blood's about to boil over. Yugen flexing curses like he's Sukuna, but Tatsuya's about to Itadori his whole bloodline. Maya tells Kanako about a ton of cursed eggs lying around, and Mama casually tells her to grab them while she's busy hustling on her own. Maya swears to protect her mom from the jerk who killed her dad, while Tatsuya declares Yugen's already toast. Haruka panics, yelling Maya can't kill Yugen no matter how hard she swings, begging Tatsuya to handle it before the fox girl ends up cursed 6 ways to Sunday. Tatsuya orders his pawn to cut Yugen down, but the piece gets yoinked back into solid form, and Maya's mana tanks. Yugen thanks Maya like she just saved his sorry butt, revealing she's now juiced with more curses than a sailor on payday. Tatsuya knows if he blasts her with magic, she'll just hulk up harder, so he plays it slick, shaving damage without letting her Devil Eye leech his mana. As wolves call in their boss wolf, Yugen smugly explains Maya's Nozuchi curse craves power like free refills at a buffet. Tatsuya feels guilty for promising to protect her, so he flips the script, finding the cap on her Devil Eye absorption and saving her from going full monster mode. He tells Shimogami their dream's trash, since even Another World's Demon King wasn't this messy, and Maya ain't at that level yet. Haruka's shook, realizing Tatsuya burned a mountain of magic he didn't even need to, and his single piece held enough juice to turn Maya scarier than her. She decides her master's not just strong, he's straight up terrifying. Yugen tries pulling a hypnosis trick on the Great Sage, but Tatsuya punts him like yesterday's trash. Haruka suddenly senses a creepy old curse hiding inside Maya, so Tatsuya dives into her mind like he's checking browser history. He finds little Maya the day her Devil Eyes first woke up, when she promised Lady Chiyo she'd protect her mama. Turns out the curse was a nasty lie factory, meant to twist her heart and wreck her future. E shatters it, reminding her she's never been alone. Calm now, Maya shrugs off Yugen's tricks, kicks him, and says she won't kill him. She's got her mama to protect. And if it gets rough, Tatsuya's got her back. The Great Sage just grins, ready to drag both Maya and Kanako straight to happiness. After Tatsuya breaks Maya's lifelong curse, Yugen warns they'll be hunted forever unless he's killed, then tries pulling the hostage card again, only to get zapped as Maya's Devil Eyes start draining him dry. Our girl Maya drained Yugen like she hit Bankai with no cooldown. She smirks, snatching his hypnotism powers and telling him to brace for a fate worse than death. While Haruka helps Maya change in Tatsuya's storage, she teases that Maya might be crushing on him. Maya panics, insisting it's just a flutter, while Haruka laughs that it's love. Tatsuya nearly chokes, torn between thinking she's in love or just seeing him as a dad figure, which crushes his ego as Haruka cackles about Papa Sage. Shaking it off, he senses massive magic below and keeps quiet, deciding to end Yugen once and for all. Just as Maya brags the monsters must have chickened out from Big Bro, Haruka groans about the nasty vibes. Then bam! An attack slams in, and Tatsuya barely saves them before a familiar face from another world, Mulan, gets tossed their way. Tatsuya nearly falls over when Mulan pops up in Japan, swearing she's his buddy from another world, while Haruka points out her magic circuit's fried and she's basically on death's doorstep unless they pump her full of mana. Maya nudges Tatsuya to use the stash she absorbed earlier, and Bishop transfers it, leaving Maya wiped but Mulan glowing like a goddess and sprouting melons big enough to make Haruka choke. Haruka mutters that dream magic, the same thing the first emperor drooled over, is right here, and laughs that Tatsuya doesn't even look 34. Tatsuya ships Mulan off to Chiyo while the Yuko village goes nuts with all the monsters dropping in, and Chiyo's busy praying for Oyagata-sama's safety. Still, Tatsuya notices curses crawling all over Mulan and swears he's gonna kick Yumen's sorry butt. Suddenly, the squad gets yanked into another place, and Tatsuya realizes this creep isn't even human. Yumen grins at meeting the Great Sage, itching for gossip about the other world. Tatsuya shrugs him off, saying there's nothing worth telling, while Yumen brags about chilling behind a defensive barrier. Then, he drops the bomb. 19 years ago, he stuffed a curse inside Tatsuya, and oh yeah, he's the one who killed him in some dark little closet before dumping him into another world. Back in Japan, Tatsuya's gunning to protect his people when Yumen drops the bomb that he iced him 19 years ago, back when Tatsuya was just a middle school kid, all because Kanako and her Devil Eyes loved him. Yumen brags that Devil Eyes feed off bad vibes and shrivel under good ones, so naturally he had to kill the competition. Maya's fuming, ready to punt him straight to hell for messing with her mama's happiness. Tatsuya slaps a barrier around the girls and thanks Yumen for killing him, because now he's packing the power to return the favor. He calls in Pawn and Bishop, bulks them up Godzilla size, and dives at Yumen, even crawling out of a monster's stomach like it's Tuesday. My man, Tatsuya came out of the monster's belly like Eren saying, "Try me now." Haruka's sure master's got this when he whips out an artifact blade that makes Yumen drool. boy, that artifact blade had Yumin sweating like light, seeing Ryuk at a PTA meeting. But the creep plays his trump card, triggering a curse he slapped on Tatsuya 19 years ago, warping his head and whispering sweet nihilism about how nobody ever loved him, not even his parents. Just as the mental shackles start to drag Tatsuya under, Yumin gloats about killing Maya to juice up Kanako's devil eyes and open the big bad door. But hold the funeral. Queen comes in, calling her darling back to their promise to live together, declaring Yumin her dance partner for this showdown. She reminds Tatsuya that their love story is his real cheat code to break through Yumin's curse. Queen's got the weight of saving Tatsuya from nuking himself, reminding him of their twisted fairy tale love story. In his dream haze, he remembers being killed by his own parents, reincarnating, and training until his master tossed him into demon turf with nothing but a picture book about a god who cursed a girl into an ugly monster. Then his wife blessed him with immortality, revealing that a man would break the curse on her after falling for her. When he finally found the so-called Queen of Darkness, she told him to scram. But Tatsuya just told her to shut up and dropped a dispel spell that fried him like tempura. Even half dead, he called her too kind for a monster. And boom, the ugly mask cracked. Turns out, love, not magic, broke her curse. On the verge of croaking from miasma, he agreed to her contract, proving his kindness wasn't pity, but real love. She promised to lock his painful memories away under shackles, but he didn't care. He'd already shown love by wrecking himself for others. Haruka and Maya's voices snap him back, and with Queen's mana pumping through him, Tatsuya's back on his feet, grinning like a mad lad, ready to steamroll Yumin and finally give everyone some peace of mind. Yumin can't wrap his head around how Tatsuya just strolled out curse-free, but Sage shrugs it off, saying he ditched all that trauma the second he hit Japan. Queen's got Haruka and Maya covered, while Tatsuya calls Yumin a coward for hiding behind giant monsters and sneak attacks like some bargain bin villain. Yumin lures him deeper into the mansion of poisonous desires, promising it'll be Tatsuya's final grave. But Haruka's yelling it's a trap while Queen's hyping her darling like a fangirl at a concert. Sage casually scans 151 monsters and 64 traps, sends Pawn to mop them up, then blocks Yumin's demon sword when the guy tries cutting emotions out of his chest like a bad surgeon. Yumin rants about harmony with nature, but Tatsuya's pissed Kanako's not in his so-called dream world, calling her his first love right to Yumin's face. With Yumin's illusion vanishing, Sage tells him to come back with his real body if he's got the guts, then strolls back to his girls like nothing happened. They're all back in Ariona's parking lot. Chio calls with the good news that the creepy aura's gone from her shrine, and Kanako sent word through a dragon that everyone's safe, melting Tatsuya's cold little heart. Ready to crash at home, he steps in only to get tackled by Kanako, hugging Maya, reminding him it's time to spill the beans like he promised. Kanako tells him no rush, though Ryuki already spilled half the tea about him in the devil eyes. Kanako's sitting there all graceful like Sailor Moon, but Ryuki already leaked the whole plot like he's the human version of a spoiler thread. She still wants to hear it straight from him, thanking him for guarding her Maya and Chio. Tatsuya sets the record straight that he's sticking around and not pulling any weird moves with Maya. Just then, Chio's crew bursts in for a victory party while Tatsuya zones out, wondering if he can finally be his true self now that his memories are back. Everyone cheers the great Sage for smacking down Shimogami, meaning the old geezer should cause less trouble, only for Kashizu's big shot partner to crash the party, rolling in with Kane from the other world and hyping up the legendary Anjay. Haruka warns it's decision time, but Tatsuya's stuck at the crossroad of fate, sweating bullets over whether to blow Kanako's 3k yen on pork or chicken for tonight's hot pot. Months have passed since the Shimogami smackdown, though Yumin's chumps still swing by for revenge cameos, and Kanako's eyes are still prime real estate. Life's calmer, though, until Kanako pings him, asking why he's taking so much time. Afraid to ruin dinner, he grabs pork, but Haruka teases if he's serving up chopped pork miso or the holy pork Kanako deserves. She even suggests tossing in some of that 5 billion flex money, so Tatsuya goes rogue and snags beef for sukiyaki instead. Haruka's buzzing like she just conned her master into a festival feast, and now she's hinting at a Hokkaido crab teleport run. Maya arrives with a friend who gushes about her cool big bro and whips out a nightmare app, tossing a wink that Maya's totally dating Tatsuya. He instantly assumes it's an adult app, muttering curses as she bounces. Back home, the sukiyaki hot pot's a hit. Kanako marvels at how far 3K yen stretched, and Queen knows it wasn't Kanako's cash. It was Sage money, while Queen's been rocking Kanako's shop in cute new outfits like some gothic cashier idol. Everyone outside's going wild over Queen's new cute girl look, and when Kanako asks, Tatsuya mutters it kinda reminds him of his master, which earns him some side-eye. Then, the TV drops an ad for the Nightmare app, promising you can dream whatever you want. Kanako's into it, but Tatsuya's squinting like the name's tickling a bad memory. Maya teases that Haruka would end up with some shady dream, only for Haruka to brag she'd go big, maybe queen of oil by day, defiled at night, while Maya calls out the app girl for being a total weirdo. Sure enough, that same girl crawls into bed early, giggling about stealing her friend's crush by dreaming Tatsuya up in some back alley soap opera, but while she's busy plotting her homewrecker fantasy, monsters are literally creeping outside her window. The news cuts in with a breaking alert on coma cases sweeping the country, and Queen just rolls her eyes, saying what we're all thinking, it's gotta be that shady app, probably run by some nightmare demon freeloading from another world. The Nightmare app's knocking folks into comas, and Tatsuya's gut says it's the Demon King's old buddy Nightmare pulling the strings, the dream world boss even his master couldn't beat. Queen's sweating bullets, Haruka's whining, the mood's louder than a rock concert, and Tatsuya's sure the world's getting invaded again. Haruka frets Maya's friend might get toasted too, so Tatsuya tells Maya to keep tabs on her, since she can spy with her phone tricks. That night, Tatsuya dreams of his master ranting about the Nightmare Demon, a cheat code monster invincible in dreams unless you sing him a lullaby or get a goat screaming, because apparently folklore hacks are a thing. My man dreaming about cheat code demons like he's in the dark souls of nightmares. He wakes up only to freak out seeing Azan on top of him, then realizes he's at Chiyo's hot spring instead of his bed. Before he can process, Unzan warns him about the keystone while the mana outside feels like a teleport rave. Suddenly, his master herself drops in, complaining her magic's going haywire but smiling like she just unlocked a new game level. She admits she's soft on her disciple now, loving the glow he's got back in his homeland. Tatsuya, still reeling, introduces her to Chiyo's squad, and Chiyo's so dizzy from the divine vibes it looks like she's about to faint. Master admits she lost to the Nightmare Demon, losing her real body, and asks Tatsuya to handle the mess, assuring Chiyo her disciples got this. She reassures Chiyo that her disciples got this covered, while hinting Maya will soon drag him to the crime scene so he can snoop out Nightmare's goals. Master plans to catch up later, already teasing that the shackles of love on him are slipping since he's clearly drowning in affection here. Sure enough, Maya calls, saying Hiyori hasn't woken up all morning, so Tatsuya jets over to poke at the cursed app. The second he cracks open the door, mana floods out like a busted soda can, and his jaw drops when he realizes the magical energy reeks of Kane. Tatsuya's got no clue what the hell Kane from another world is doing crashing this party, but it sure looks like the nightmare just leveled up. Unzan rolls out the red carpet for Master Kate, while Aza nervously asks if the other world's chilling in peace, only for Kate to casually drop the bomb that a new Demon King's about to pop up since the last one got smoked. Kane shows up smirking at Tatsuya, throwing shade about him playing the hero, while Tatsuya claps back that Kane hasn't changed one bit. Kane's ticked that Tatsuya beat the Demon King, flexing power that feels a lot like Kashidzu family mojo, and even Pawn can't handle his swings. Kane admits he can't be Demon King while the Great Sage is still breathing, basically calling dibs on the throne, and Tatsuya's sweating bullets, wondering if he's gotta take him out. Before it gets ugly, Queen jumps in, shocked to see the so-called hero, who politely dips with a promise to wreck Tatsuya later. Checking Hiyori's phone, Tatsuya guesses Nightmare already got what he wanted since the girl is dreaming peacefully with no magic trail. He plants a fix to keep her safe, then heads to Chiyo's shrine where Master Kate spills the tea. Kane declared himself the next Demon King, but Tatsuya scoffs that he's not strong enough yet, especially since his demonic vibes scream Kashidzu bloodline. Master Kate drops some wisdom about parent-child magic flow working both ways, then points at a certain sleeping beauty in the shrine. Tatsuya gets the hint, grabs Mulan's hand, and she wakes up like a fairy tale princess minus the kiss. Mulan spills Kane's backstory, half demon, half human, raised by a hero who thought he was kidnapped, and now Kane's basically gunning for revenge. Tatsuya figures the guy's eyeing him and Master like targets at a carnival, probably saving Nightmare as his trump card. But Mulan ups the drama, revealing Nightmare is the current Demon King, and Kane's planning to take him out. Chiyo nearly faints, bawling that her world's now the playground for two wannabe demon kings. Just as Tatsuya's trying to process this circus, his phone buzzes with Ariana on the line, coolly reporting that someone from the Demon King's army is here to see him. So an officer from the Demon King's army shows up like it's tea time, calling himself Colonel Alfred Gehal of the 5th Strategic Force, and the dude's literally breakdancing with joy to meet the Great Sage, while Tatsuya's just trying not to facepalm. Alfred says his crew's all about demon peace and healing spa days, not wars, then drops the bomb that Nightmare snatched the Demon King's throne thanks to Tatsuya's oopsie with the portal door. Now he wants Tatsuya to clean up the mess and kill Nightmare, handing him a dream-walking artifact like it's a party favor. Tatsuya takes the job but swears he'll kill Alfred if he plays dirty. Looks like Nightmare jacked the throne like Light Yagami with a death wish and a dream journal. Meanwhile, he's stuck wondering why Nightmare wants the throne, Kane wants the throne, and Alfred doesn't want a throne at all. But somehow they've all decided to drag their royal drama straight into Japan. Tatsuya shows up at Chiyo's place and finds Master Kate running boot camp while Maya's looking worn out, and he's kicking himself for letting Nightmare stir up so much chaos it even hurt Maya's friend. Master, seeing her student down bad, hands him a ring and tells him it's dream diving time. Maya steps up to tag along, Queen chills on standby as emergency exit, and Master warns them Dreamland's got no rules. She even admits she lost once when she peeked into little Tatsuya's dream. With Alfred's charm, the squad knocks out, and boom, Tatsuya lands in Hiyori's dream, where she's rocking a chest that defies physics. Before he can say plot twist, he's butt naked, tied up like a bargain bin dominatrix prop, and Hiyori's happily living her fantasy. Tatsuya realizes this dream's so tailor-made she'd never want to wake up, and now the Great Sage is stuck playing her toy while trying to sniff out Nightmare. This moron of a sage came back to Earth for a chill life after slapping the Demon King, only to get roped into a dreamworld circus where Nightmare is untouchable, and he's stuck being Hiyori's puppet. Haruka's hyped like she's watching a spicy drama, roasting Tatsuya for being a virgin doomed to leave here with old man fetishes, while Maya whips out a Shikigami decoy and proves imagination's OP. Next thing, the dream flips them into bikinis and drags them onto Tatsuya's bed, Haruka eyeballing his wood like it's prime rib, and Maya screaming like her Wi-Fi just died. Tatsuya swaps with the decoy, sprints to the roof, and saves the girls as the fake blows up, shielding them, leaving him ready to square up with Nightmare, who's finally clocked the intruders. With the stage set, Tatsuya's ready to clap Nightmare for good, but instead of falling for her spooky lullaby, he shrugs it off like bad karaoke and calls her bluff on being invincible. Haruka's losing it as the whole city morphs into monsters, but Tatsuya coolly flexes that in dreams. Imagination's king, and he's got 19 years of delusions in the bank. He flips the Nightmare into a flower garden, drops the savage line that no man gets nightmares while sleeping next to a woman, and tells the doll to deliver a memo to her boss. She only got the throne because he left the door open. Just as the dream starts collapsing and Tatsuya's stressing over losing the trail, Master's ring lights up, and a mystery girl pops out like a bonus level, leaving him wondering if she's here to see him or crash the party. The dream fades and the trio wakes up beside Hiyori, who finally opens her eyes while Haruka's still grumbling about being dragged into bikini mode fantasy and now just wants a good meal to cope. Tatsuya steps outside only to freeze at the sight of Kane manhandling Queen like a rag doll, and his blood boils. Chiyo spills that Queen got wrecked protecting Tatsuya while he was off in Dreamland, and Master secretly admitted Queen once toyed with a young Tatsuya for 150 days before losing. Queen, jealous and stubborn, went to check his broken barrier, only to run into Kane, who decided to make her his punching bag. Bro's blood hit Super Saiyan God Temps the second he saw Queen hit the ground. Tatsuya pulls Queen back to rest, snarling that she'd never lose to Kane in a fair fight. Kane laughs it off, saying beating her up was fun, right before Tatsuya drop kicks him in the face, growling that he once thought of Kane as a brother back in their hero party days. Now he's just a traitor who broke his trust. The brawl kicks off with Kane sneering that the idea of ever being Tatsuya's friend is a joke, while Tatsuya turns him into his personal punching bag. Kane flashes back to being a human kid, raised by the very hero family that slaughtered his kind, trained up by the enemy to kill his own people, and now swearing he'll crush Tatsuya for the demon race. He whips out a pair of eyeballs, and Tatsuya's gut twists thinking they're Kanako's, but Kane smirks they're Anje's. Jamming them in, Kane powers up with holy eyes that can exercise otherworld magic, flexing like he finally understands how freakishly strong guys like Tatsuya feel. He growls that killing Tatsuya won't be happiness, but it'll sure feel close, while Alfred mutters the world's about to flip as two ex-friends throw down in a deathmatch. Kane tosses Riza like loose change to crack open the Demon Lord's gate and crash Tatsuya's world with murder on his to-do list. While Mulan stalls him, Anji tries talking sense into Kane, but he's locked into his villain arc. Mid-fight, Kane busts through Tatsuya's defenses, flexing his flashy new holy eyes like a kid with fresh DLC, erasing spells left and right. Aizen's doing commentary while Tatsuya's done playing, and drops a giant chessboard like it's boss fight time. He starts wrecking Kane with bishop and pawn combos, vanishing after each hit like a glitchy ninja. Kane thinks he's tanking it fine until Tatsuya drops the classic gut punch special and calls himself Queen's stand-in. Honestly, Kane's out here thinking he's the protagonist, but bro just got One Piece gut punched into humility. While Kane's bleeding ego and actual blood, Tatsuya gets real, asking if Kane's whole Demon Lord dream is just revenge cosplay. Kane spills his tragic lore, raised by the enemy to kill his own kind, while Tatsuya claps back, saying he was also life's chew toy, but clawed his way back. He says they're both cursed underdogs in a rigged game, but Kane can't stand how soft humans got it, and he ain't about that peace and happiness life. Out of nowhere, some shady dude picks up Kane mid-fight, saying it'd be a pain if he died here, then dips like he was never there. Master Kate tells Tatsuya to patch up Queen before chasing after him, so Tatsuya pours mana into her, offering a little gentle touch that's got Haruka and Chiyo glaring like jealous watchdogs. Kate, growing in size like she just hit power-up mode, warns him not to dive back into Dreamland since Nightmare will be waiting with cheat codes next time. She figures the white-haired girl is the one white Nightmare, the same one who said she wanted to meet Tatsuya. While Kate admits her mission's not exactly a walk in the park, Tatsuya's side-eyeing if her body can even keep up. Then he wonders out loud how the heck you kill someone labeled invincible, asking Haruka if Shimogami's squad can really call in monster reinforcements from another world. Tatsuya, remembering Haruka's ace Shimogami, asks if she can pull a monster from the other world, only for Haruka to melt down like a busted faucet, bawling that she doesn't have the mana and begging them to scatter her ashes on Mount Fuji instead. Chiyo's panicking, Kate's jaw drops at the idea of Shimogami summoning hacks, and Tatsuya explains the whole curse-buffed monster delivery service Yumin's been running like it's Uber Eats for demons. Kate digs into Haruka's head and finds out her summoning is just a request slip Yumin cashes in, which blows everyone's minds. Tatsuya pieces the logic together, bragging he's got nightmare-connected items stashed, while Maya roasts him for remembering magic, despite always acting like a perv. Kate says the gods don't even have gates, which makes Chiyo gush praise, while Queen throws shade about being cursed for rejecting one. So Kate fires up a reverse summon using Nightmare's connection, calls Azan and Unzen to guard against the creepy music. Mulan wakes up ready to back them up, and as the gate cracks open, Tatsuya calls Nightmare through, only for the spell to get hijacked. While a voice whispers to Kane that even with Kashizu's juice and Saintus's eyes, he's still out of luck. Not gonna lie, my man Kane really out here thinking he's Madara with a buff when he barely got Yamcha stats. Nightmare flips the switch, mashing dreams and reality into one big mess, giving Kane a final shot and warning him that whatever he thinks in Dreamland now plays out in real life. So if he wants Sage and Nightmare gone, here's his ticket to Demon King status. While Tatsuya and the crew are scrambling to fix their hijacked spell, some poor nerd's getting told to yeet himself onto the train tracks, proving Nightmare's world just crashed into reality. With the board flipped and stakes sky high, the last battle's about to kick off, and this time, nobody's waking up without scars. Right after Tatsuya's summoning spell, the city goes boom, and chaos pops off like popcorn, with Chiyo shouting about explosions, and Master Kate calmly dropping the bomb that their spell got hijacked. Haruka's tail's on full alert, warning him to shut the portal, but Tatsuya admits his body's moving on autopilot, and reality itself just got turned into Dreamland. Everyone's sweating bullets as Tatsuya explains that now wishes come true, whether it's curing a cold or wishing yourself 6 feet under. Kate shuts Chiyo up before she blurts something dumb, then turns herself into a living barrier so nobody gets steamrolled by Nightmare's influence. Maya cracks that running out of mana means GG, and the squad gets hyped to face Nightmare Girl herself. Kate warns she's coming because they broke Dreamworld rules, and sure enough, she shows, with Chiyo losing it at the sight and Haruka bawling as the mountains morph into monsters. Tatsuya lays down his chessboard to nuke all magic but keep fists flying, betting on strategy over brute force. Queen gasps at the sight of the old demon king on the board, while Tatsuya coolly notes that when two limited conditions clash, the one with the bigger range wins, but if it's narrower, it takes priority. In this case, Nightmare's playground just got upgraded from dreams to the whole damn world. MC's limited condition kicks in, trumping Nightmare's wide-range chaos, but only half the chessboard lights up, leaving Tatsuya grinding his teeth. Master Kate points out he's been bleeding magic into her and Queen, while Nightmare's leeching the whole crowd, making her the Demon King upgrade nobody asked for. Queen drops the 4 Heavenly Kings like it's a WWE intro, and Tatsuya takes a nasty hit, his pieces getting smashed left and right. Master yells at him to defend, but Tatsuya shrugs it off, betting on Master's save while plotting a 3-move checkmate. After burning through his pawns, he finally clamps Nightmare into a stalemate under his limited condition, locking out all magic, even the old Demon King's tricks. He admits he can't win a fistfight, but grins that in his dream world, it's a draw. Then he snags the gate, deciding to yeet Nightmare into a blank, dreamless void where she can't mess with anyone. Just as he's about to pull the trigger, Anji pops up like a plot twist, telling him to pump the brakes. Anji pops in like the ultimate plot twist, leaving everyone's jaws on the floor, and drops the bomb that Kane begged her to save Nightmare. Tatsuya mutters, she's gotta do it since she's Kane's wife. Then half remembers her old "I'll love you forever" line, only to roast himself that it was just a failed crush. Master Kate smacks sense into him, swearing the great sage will yeet NTR out of existence and bring world peace. Snapped back, Tatsuya keeps holding Nightmare while Anji explains Kate's barrier has already cracked half the brainwashing, and together they tug Nightmare toward the light. Just as her real body shows up, she throws a tantrum and spawns a shady Disney villain castle armed with cannons. Tatsuya groans but dives in, since Nightmare's the only shot at fixing reality. On the way, Anji spills that Kane wasn't brainwashed. Dude chose the Demon King grind himself, but God Alfred Gehal lit the fire, playing puppet master behind it all. Kate turns into a barrier Uber and drags everyone inside, only for them to find Nightmare sulking in a dusty closet-like room. While the others cough and complain, Tatsuya just shrugs and says it feels homey, since he literally grew up living in a closet, which weirdly grabs Nightmare's attention. Dust, stink, and creaks? To him, that's 5-star comfort. Nightmare steps out, mumbling she likes the cramped mess because big spaces make her feel lost, and Tatsuya nods like a philosopher, saying it's all about having a spot where you fit. He admits he came on Kane's request, which makes Nightmare call him a traitor since she thinks she'll never have friends. Tatsuya, sweating bullets, asks if she even wants friends, and she confesses that people fear her power, either avoiding her or trying to use her. But being alone sucks more. Master Kate face palms and tells the moron to just befriend her already, so Tatsuya awkwardly blurts out the world's lamest hangout invite, getting roasted by everyone. Nightmare yells she's not mocking him, and admits maybe this counts as friendship since they're bickering like kids, though she still regrets her shady deal. Just when she says she'll swap dream and reality and thanks Tatsuya for meeting her, boom. God Alfred swoops in like a final boss tax collector, chomps Nightmare, and reminds her she'd get axed if she acted without permission, sneering that she should know better than to trust liars. Nightmare's all set to pull back her dream world's grip if Tatsuya keeps his word. But before he can fist pump his way to victory, God Alfred struts in, gulps her down like fast food, and brags about feeling her power inside him. Honestly, this man hit that Majin Buu combo, swallowed her whole, and said it's trauma-flavored despair, as in side-eyes Haruka for bolting, and she yells that backstabbers aren't her vibe. Alfred, acting like the world's worst YouTuber, whips out an ant farming analogy, saying he feeds, observes, and throws humans and demons into death matches just to keep balance, then drops the mic that the 2 elephants wrecking his perfect zoo are Tatsuya and Kate, mostly Tatsuya. He admits he juiced Nightmare with too much nectar and dumped despair on Tatsuya, turning her into humanity's big trial. So naturally, he had to delete her. Next thing Tatsuya knows, he's teleported onto a crowded footpath, Alfred yanking Kanako into the mix just to mess with his head. While Chiyo orders everyone to clear the battlefield, Alfred flexes that he'll test humans equally. Tatsuya gets his face rearranged, trying to call for a rook, only for a bishop to pop out instead. Tatsuya's baffled, blaming barriers, while Kate's over there running on mana fumes. Tatsuya finally catches on, deciding to choke his own mana flow and slap Alfred with a limited condition. While Alfred's grinning like a kid with cheat codes, loving Nightmare's wish-granting hacks, Kate's barrier keeps Tatsuya safe, but everyone outside is basically naked in a snowstorm. With no better play, Tatsuya dives in swinging, only for Alfred to yank Kanako into the danger zone like it's a hostage drama. Tatsuya's trying to slam the brakes on his own fist, but Alfred snags it and shoves it straight at her. Just when things look cooked, a massive sword drops in and Kane crashes the party, saving Kanako thanks to Anji tipping him off that Tatsuya had actually helped Nightmare. Now Tatsuya and Kane are yelling like old roommates fighting over rent, roasting each other for not figuring out Alfred's busted skill set. Then it clicks for Tatsuya. Alfred isn't just wiping memories, he's rearranging them, which is why he keeps forgetting Kanako's spot and even his own chess moves. Tatsuya remembers a dusty book from Master's library about the gods, pointing at Alfred as Gredes, one of the 12 divine beasts rocking the thread of memory. Alfred smirks that Tatsuya found him out, but Tatsuya just shrugs, saying he's a pro at winging it, so he'll figure out a way to dunk him. So, the divine beast of God Greeds has this wild thread of memory trick, basically a brain-hacking cheat code, but it only works if Alfred lays a finger on it. Tatsuya calls him out, saying the dude's rocking 3 busted powers: dream hijacking by slurping up nightmares, memory messing like some shady IT guy, and that thread magic. Out of nowhere, Alfred pops up and yeets Tatsuya like yesterday's garbage. Not gonna lie, Alfred out here touching people like he downloaded Shigaraki's whole skill tree. Kane swears he saw him walk into the building, but Tatsuya's like, bro, my memory got glitched. Kate shrugs, saying she can't block Alfred's memory hacks unless she gets a body and a fat man a paycheck, and since Tatsuya's stuck running on half his magic thanks to Nightmare's conditions, the guy's basically fighting on hard mode. Still, he figures old memories are hanging on, which might be their golden ticket. Kane jumps in swinging, but Alfred laughs, calling Kane the Demon King God handpicked as humanity's final exam. That throws Tatsuya off, especially remembering Kane's bum leg from a Demon King fight. Tatsuya yells for Bishop to heal him, and Kane admits he was planning to drain Tatsuya and off him later. Even so, they squad up to save Nightmare and take Alfred down. Alfred threatens to start picking off the weaklings first, and Tatsuya tells Kane to read his moves, reminding him that thoughts don't vanish right away. Alfred just smirks, calling Tatsuya too slow, basically flexing like he's speedrunning their deaths. Kane swears he's gonna boot Alfred into the afterlife, but instead Alfred plants his face in the dirt like a busted lawn gnome. Tatsuya's thinking Kane still got the fire, so maybe, just maybe, they can pull this off. Alfred yawns about being bored since God barely ever does anything hands-on, then decides to gut-punch Tatsuya so hard he practically coughs up his lunch. Just when it looks like curtains, Kane's magic spears Alfred and kicks Nightmare free. Tatsuya yells for her to open up, shoving a candy in her mouth like a panicked big brother keeping a promise for snack time, then tells her to sign a contract to stick by him as his precious friend. Alfred realizes Tatsuya played the Uno reverse card with old memories, admits there's a hole in his own cheat ability, and actually praises him for the genius move. Tatsuya, bleeding but grinning, declares he'll take down God himself as a send-off, like dropping the mic after the deadliest concert ever. Tatsuya locks Nightmare into a bestie contract like some magical pinky promise, and Kane grins like a proud demon king, convinced he finally protected his people. With the dream world off the table, Tatsuya flips his limited condition into a power play, and Nightmare yeets Alfred right into it with a wish. Stuck inside, Alfred gets punted by Tatsuya like a soccer ball in overtime, and Nightmare's fangirling so hard she wishes the whole battlefield was full of Tatsuya clones, which creeps everyone out but makes her happy. Alfred's defenses get nerfed, so he tries pulling a memory wipe, but Tatsuya laughs, knowing the guy can't erase what he doesn't know, like old battles, or hilariously, how to make tea. Tatsuya calls him out as just a beast playing God, which makes Alfred rage harder, but every move brings him closer to checkmate. The squad erupts like they just won the finals when Tatsuya outsmarts a so-called deity. Anji shows up, asking if Kane really became Demon King since he protected the demons, and Tatsuya heals her eyes, explaining Kane passed his big powers to Bishop so Anji could get them back. He points out Nightmare's smile, making Anji cry tears of relief. Tatsuya says he'll give Kane a proper resting place, and when Anji wishes to build the world Kane dreamed of where demons can laugh, Tatsuya vows to roll with her and help make it happen. Kate tells Nightmare to shut down the dream world and haul her body over, finally ready to head back to the other world, and even jokes about grabbing tea with Nightmare someday despite being enemies. Girl out here joking about tea dates with her enemy like she's got Makima social energy and Saitama kill potential. The dream pops like a bubble. Everyone wakes up, and Alfred's body is gone, though somewhere he's raging that he got clapped by the Great Sage and swearing he'll cook up a counterplan. Too bad for him, Kate strolls in like the final boss, dropping the mic that there won't be a next time since her doors link straight to the Divine Realm, and she's here to clean up her reckless student's mess. After slicing Alfred out of existence, she grins, saying she wants to see Tatsuya level up even more before he gets dragged into an even bigger circus. It's party time for New Year, and Tatsuya's hyped like it's day one, though Haruka reminds him they're already 20 days deep, asking how long he plans to ride that high. Nightmare's still shy around crowds, Queen's salty about her clinging to Darling, and when Tatsuya brings her to Kanako, the woman nearly explodes with love, ready to adopt her on the spot. Maya's skeptical, but Tatsuya swears Nightmare's Demon King juice is gone and won't mess with Mama's eyes, though he admits she's still tougher than Haruka, which makes Haruka pout about wanting someone weaker to boss around. While Tatsuya heads for a bath, Haruka hugs Nightmare, figuring she'll comfort him later, since he never spills what's on his mind. Then Haruka shows Nightmare the Lillian's card Alfred gave her, dropping the bomb that it's tied to the goddess who reincarnated Tatsuya, and he's praying nothing blows up from that. Meanwhile, Maya's baffled at Haruka devouring food like a black hole, but Tatsuya nearly faints at the new prices until Haruka laughs it off, saying trash dining days are over and showing his storage stuffed with Nightmare's booming New Year broadcast, though Nico's clearly milking her success. Queen sulks about being replaced as the flat rep, until Chiyo casually reveals Tatsuya likes big busts, sparking Haruka's gleeful concubine war commentary, while Tatsuya warns to chill or Kanako's eyes will suffer. Suddenly, Maya struts in dressed up, announcing her stomach's trembling, and Hio pulls out an old scroll. Chiyo drags Tatsuya up the mountain to spill the legend of the land. A broken heirloom sword of Oyakata said to restart time when reborn, regrets carried by 4 spirits protecting the shrine, and the keystone, Oyakata's fortress stone from which the Chiyo Onsen Inari shrine was built, complete with a prophecy running straight up to this year. Chiyo drops the bomb that the hero who sealed the demons once disguised himself as a woman messenger, rolling with the Kasuga deer, the 3-legged crow, and the Inari fox, all destined to return to the promised land born from an earthquake. She admits the prophecy's been a head-scratcher for a century, but then points out Master Kate popped in through the keystone pillar, which she swears has the same juice as her interworld door. Tatsuya's jaw hits the floor when he realizes the 4th door is right here. Jubei Oyakata, the old daimyo of this land, gets name-dropped as Azan brings out the sacred scroll, warning it's creepy how the shrine's been earthquake-born and hidden by barriers. The second Tatsuya touches the scroll, a glowing magic circle flashes up, sending everyone into panic mode. Before they can blink, they're all vacuumed away and dumped in the middle of a battlefield, blood splattering on Tatsuya's face, while he's just standing there like asking if someone forget to RSVP them for this murder party. Haruka's bawling about not hitting enough food stalls, Queen's sulking that she didn't get her New Year shopping date with Tatsuya, and poor Tatsuya's groaning that this was supposed to be his first real Japanese New Year at age 34, not a blood-splattered history tour. Then, bam, a bullet smacks his barrier and Haruka nearly loses it, swearing this looks like World War II before fainting, only to wake up and realize the nightmare's real. Queen notes the place still screams Earth, not another dimension, and Haruka suggests bailing through the door, but Tatsuya admits he already tried and nope, locked tighter than a tax office safe. Even Nightmare got sucked in just from chilling in storage. She spots a yellow flag and casually drops the trivia bomb that it belongs to Hideyoshi's army, making Tatsuya realize they're stuck in the Warring States period. Queen's sweating over Haruka's fragile nerves, but Tatsuya senses Keystone vibes up north, only to find nada, while Haruka flashes an old photo showing it should be there. Queen figures the earthquake hasn't popped off yet, which explains the missing stone, but then they hear about 3 monsters tearing it up nearby. A panicked soldier spots them and assumes Hideyoshi's packing some terrifying ringers, mistaking them for Zuifu's squad, then fires a magic shot that Tatsuya blocks, Nightmare noting it feels like Kane's attacks. Soon they're surrounded, and a man strolls up telling Tatsuya's crew to handle him or go home. He drops the mask, introduces himself as Zuifu, commander of the soldiers, and makes it clear he prefers conversations in punch language. Tatsuya tells Queen to shield the girls as Zuifu goes feral, and despite the chaos, Tatsuya's half-shocked, half-thrilled to be trading fists with a tough guy like it's some bizarre sparring session instead of ancient war. One punch later, Tatsuya's scroll goes flying, and Zuifu snatches a peek only to freeze, asking if Tatsuya just time-traveled, since the thing's got his own handwriting and the spot where he planned to finish it. That's basically proof Tatsuya's from the future, and some mystery figure didn't wipe these guys out. Tatsuya admits they're just as clueless and only want a way home. Zuifu, instead of freaking, grins and says they should swap stories, adding that with Tatsuya's crazy strength, maybe they'll dig up a clue to send him back. Then he drops the kicker. He wants Tatsuya to play body double for their Oyakata-sama. Haruka, without missing a beat, is all for throwing her master into the lion's den if it means catching the earliest bus back home. The second Tatsuya and his crew snagged that scroll under Chiyo Shrine's giant stone, bam! They got yeeted into the Warring States period like it was some cosmic prank. They ran into Zuifu, Yuku's look-alike, who dangled a ride back home if Tatsuya played Oyakata-sama's stunt double. Haruka instantly volunteered him, cracking that he wouldn't die anyway, and could regrow hair if needed, while Tatsuya grumbled but called Bishop to patch folks up. Bro already done with life, but still calls Bishop like he's summoning Sakura from the healing bench. Zuifu checked them out like judges at a talent show, convinced they were future folk thanks to Tatsuya's flashy magic and leading man looks. Nightmare geeked over the fortress setup like she was reviewing a strategy game, winning Zuifu's approval and a pocket money promise, though Tatsuya refused to accept anything without making sure it was safe for everyone. Zuifu laid down the history scoop, Nobunaga's toast, Hideyoshi's in charge, Tokugawa's ticked, and they're chilling in Tokugawa turf. Then came the bombshell scroll about a mystery guy who became Oyakata's double, saved the day and got sent home, followed 30 days later by a mega earthquake tied to Kuroda Kanbei's eyeball jewel stunt. Tatsuya almost choked at hearing such a name, and Zuifu explained Kuroda's shady Onmyoji squad and possession rumors. Just then, Oyakata stumbled in, Jubei from Chiyo's story coughing up enough blood for a horror flick before dropping dead like it was a Tuesday. Zuifu swore Kuroda wrecked him, while Queen felt goddess magic messing with the scroll, which started rewriting itself to say Oyakata died and the future squad was stuck. The girls screamed at Tatsuya not to let him croak, so he whipped out Bishop, pegged it as Yuman's curse, and dove in barehanded to rip it out. The scroll's words flipped again as Oyakata bounced back, thanking the great sage like he'd just been given a fresh extra life. Zuifu immediately begs Tatsuya to be the body double, while Oyakata explains he wants Kuroda's head, confirming Nobunaga's dead, Hideyoshi's possessed, and Kuroda's the real puppet master. Tatsuya warns the caster will know the curse got busted, and the girls add that the goddess magic flickering through the scroll must be tied to their time travel. Oyakata doesn't get the goddess part, but vows to guard the scroll, then flexes his blade like he's ready for round 2, deciding he doesn't need a double after all. That's when the scroll suddenly erases Chiyo's part, putting her in danger, and Tatsuya caves, begging to take the role instead. Zuifu pushes for it too, saying they need someone with Tatsuya's muscle, while Queen whispers the Chiyo bomb that shocks Oyakata into agreeing. Tatsuya figures the curse caster is connected to him, so he has to step up. For Chiyo's sake, Oyakata agrees, revealing himself as Jubei of the Imperial Court, Koreto Hyuga no Kami, and even calling himself Akechi Mitsuhide, before officially accepting Tatsuya as his body double. No time to chill though, as he points to assassins sneaking in from the mountain, offering to show Tatsuya a trick since regulating magic isn't exactly their squad's specialty, asking if they're ready to throw down. Jube shocks everyone by admitting he killed Nobunaga, revealing he's Akechi Mitsuhide, though Nightmare notes his still-alive status is the juiciest gossip of the century. Haruka warns Tatsuya to act before betrayal hits, but Zuifu defends Oyakata, saying it was a desperate peace move. Oyakata explains that Nobunaga was possessed after Mount Hiei's burning, the Shimogami Onmyoji appeared, and the demon later hijacked Kuroda. Tatsuya figures Yuman's still in play and agrees to be Oyakata's double. Then news drops of Tokugawa's army, with Honda and Ishikawa, future legends, marching in to judge if they'll ally or sell Akechi to Hideyoshi. Oyakata makes Tatsuya handle negotiations as a test. Haruka panics since Master's bad at talking. Zuifu warns assassins are near, and Queen reads the scroll hinting at destruction. Tatsuya stumbles but recovers, claiming he's just healed and eager for peace, impressing Ishikawa enough to erase the scroll's warning, while Honda mutters, "Hideyoshi isn't fooled about Ju being a catchy." The brass wants to toss a kichi to Hideyoshi like a peace offering, but Tatsuya shrugs that if their minds are already made up, this whole meeting's just a tea party with extra stress. He warns Hideyoshi's a shark who'll circle this place soon anyway. Ishikawa lays out Hideyoshi's demand for Jubi and Zuifu's heads, leaving it up to Oyakata to decide if blood spills. Oyakata coolly suggests he and Zuifu play hostages, sneak into the castle, and personally gut Kuroda Kanbei, the devil of chaos. Honda accuses him of planning a betrayal and lunges, only for Oyakata to catch his spear like he's grabbing a broomstick. Honda admits he's a beast of a fighter, but says his commander's cred's on the line, while Oyakata just grabs him back, reminding him no ordinary man can take him down. Ishikawa figures this body double idea could work, since even if they hand him over, a rampaging Oyakata later would still benefit Tokugawa. With Hideyoshi destined to eat dirt, Oyakata vows to trick him into getting close to Kuroda, playing the classic Akechi betrayal card. Queen confirms the scroll's writing is back to normal, and after seeing Tatsuya's smooth talk defuse the assassins, Oyakata grins that this guy might just flip the whole war and smoke Kuroda for good. Bro is about to walk into enemy territory like Levi Ackerman on a rescue run with no backup. So, the big brain plan is to stroll in as Hideyoshi's hostages, sneak behind enemy lines, and shank Kuroda Kanbei before he can pull his demon puppet strings. Ishikawa's game after watching Oyakata manhandle Honda like a rag doll, figuring even if the hostages go berserk later, Tokugawa still wins. He sets the op for tomorrow, with a cheeky jab that Oyakata should drop the childish talk by then, making Tatsuya suspect the old fox knows he's a body double. Oyakata praises Tatsuya for holding his own, but warns they're walking a tightrope and he'll kill the demon even if the road's messy. Just then, little Chiyo shows up, eager to help after catching wind of their plan. Haruka, panicking about butterfly effect romance messing with her hot spring days, drags the real Oyakata away and accidentally smushes Tatsuya between her and Chiyo's melons, while the whole squad agrees to keep Chiyo in the dark. Soon, Oyakata, Zuifu, and Chiyo get hauled in a carriage as guests, with Honda scheming torture and Ishikawa eyeing Chiyo for later. At the castle, Kuroda locks them in heavy restraints, planning a ritual to strip their powers and then massacre everyone once Tokugawa's troops leave. Ishikawa stalls for time, and the crew preps a banquet blitz. Haruka, stuck serving, swats away a samurai handsy enough to invite her for late-night fun, right as Kuroda slithers in looking like a Shia Yuman cranked up 100 times creepier. Haruka panics and signals Queen and Nightmare, who drop a show-stopping combo of songs and dances, charming the hall and leaving jaws on the floor. With most of Hideyoshi's men bewitched, Tatsuya's gang slips their cuffs, explosions ring out, and while soldiers assume Akechi just went kaboom, Tatsuya's already gunning for Kuroda's head, ready to swap his execution for a world where the future still makes sense. Two idols crash the warring states like it's their debut concert, sending samurai fanboys into full hype mode until Nightmare flips the switch and drops the whole hall into dreamland. Only one man's left standing, and Nightmare's spooked because his soul and body feel like a bad divorce settlement. Nightmare sweating like he just realized this ain't Inception, it's a beatdown. Kuroda claps like it's front row tickets, bragging this show gave him his first standing ovation in a century. Calling the girls his pretty chess pieces, he sends giant monsters on Queen and Nightmare, only for Queen to roast him, saying guys with fun-sized sausages shouldn't strut around since her darling Tatsuya's about to smash his joystick. Meanwhile, Tatsuya's stuck in some trick house dungeon, patience shot, so he just carves a massive hole in the wall while Haruka dangles from the ceiling, dodging a creeper trying to grope her. They finally bust out onto the rooftop and face Kuroda Kanbei himself, the devil in the flesh. Zuifu's blood is boiling, swearing vengeance for his fallen comrades, so he charges in, lands a stomach shot that barely scratches Kuroda, who shrugs like he expected more. Just as Kuroda raises his hand to end Zuifu, Tatsuya swoops in from behind, ready to flip the script before the devil can land the killing blow. Zuifu swears up and down his strike hit Kuroda, not thin air, but Tatsuya clocks he's packing a trump card. Turns out it's his fighting spirit, which bulks Zuifu up like he just rage quit a gym membership. Kuroda smirks, reminding him that pulling the Mount Hiei warrior special and turning into Ahura last time got his buddies roasted at Hanaji. Then he flexes his own Shikigami, snaring Zuifu like a bug in a web. Just when things look grim, Queen and Nightmare crash in with Tatsuya's chess pieces, leaving Kuroda shaken that his Shikigami squad got dumpstered. To shut down any more monster spam, Tatsuya whips out his limited condition chessboard, flips the script, and checkmates Kuroda clean. The devil stares him down, saying this move reeks of Kate Montblanche's style, asking if Tatsuya's another world hopper like him. Tatsuya's jaw practically hits the floor, hearing his master's name dropped like a bomb. Kuroda Kanbei clocks the chessboard move as Kate's signature and drops the bomb that he and Tatsuya's master were batchmates, with his real name being Ashiya Yuman, the world-hopping Onmyoji. Zuifu's brain's doing somersaults while Tatsuya explains magic's real in another world, and he came from there after maxing out his skills. Kuroda grins, hinting Tatsuya already figured out his pieces weren't destroyed but pulled back, then mocks him for not being as calm as Kate when monster fighting. Nightmare flexes her limited condition, but Kuroda hacks the system, turning her piece of magic into a loophole. Tatsuya cancels his board, juicing his pieces again, while Kuroda gloats they're a bad match and calls his victory inevitable. Reinforcements flood in to brawl with Kuroda's Shikigami, Queen busts out her trump card, the First Oath, forced execution, and summons a storm beast so unstable it's practically a one-night stand. As the crew books it, Kuroda gets gross, saying the whole fight turned him on and he'll take care of himself later, before bouncing with a promise to rematch the returnee sage. Tatsuya wakes up back at the castle, Queen knocked out from sharing magic, both of them wiped but healing, while Zuifu's off doing monk mode under a waterfall. Tatsuya, still salty about the loss, can't shake the itch for round 2. Nobody saw it coming that creepy Kuroda was actually Kate's old classmate. But hey, at least Tatsuya's crew made it back in one piece. Meanwhile, poor Haruka's still stuck playing Hideyoshi's concubine, charming the old warlord with duck-face selfies on her smartphone like it's Instagram Sengoku edition. She's salty they ditched her, but Hideyoshi, sharp as ever, listens when his shadow spy reports Akechi's trail. He peeps Haruka's act, pretending to be a ditz, while actually dropping big brain bombs about Kuroda being possessed and probably the real Nobunaga killer. This man Hideyoshi spots fake smiles like he's got Ryuk doing commentary in his earpiece. Hideyoshi plays along, sending his shadow to sniff out Kuroda's moves, while musing that Akechi's body double won't topple as easily as Nobunaga did. Back at the fortress, Tatsuya gets Hideyoshi's cup of tea invite, and Zuifu calls it what it is. Still, Hideyoshi insists they rescue their lost cat Haruka as well. Hideyoshi's letter smacked Tatsuya's crew right in the feels when they realized they'd straight up forgotten Haruka, and now the demon himself was inviting them over for tea. Tatsuya called it progress, but Chiyo went full game over tantrum until Nightmare nearly tucked her in for a forced nap. Zuifu dropped history trivia about Bichu Takamatsu Castle and why Hideyoshi couldn't be trusted, while Nightmare swore this smelled like the plot where Tatsuya walks in, never walks out trap. Just as things looked stuck, Tatsuya's chess pieces whispered that Hideyoshi might actually want him as his new right-hand man, since the guy invented tea ceremonies as political plays. The Lost Cat nickname for Haruka basically screamed she'd spilled some tea of her own. Oyakata ordered Chiyo to cool off, and she sulked for days before perking up at the promise of actual tea. With Queen back in shape, Tatsuya helped prep the ceremony and even did a little sightseeing with Nightmare. Come the big day, Tatsuya spotted a pawn-shaped plant, Hideyoshi's fancy flex, and then nearly choked when he was ushered into the infamous golden tea room. Asking for Haruka, she's napping with a wine hangover from Hideyoshi, right before the old man served him a snack so cursed it mixed chili peppers with wasabi. Tatsuya's face says that death is incoming, but he downed it anyway, figuring if this was a test, he'd ace it like a madman. Tatsuya finally gets the green light to slice up Kuroda Kanbei, aka Yuman, while Hideyoshi just smirks at Shadow's worries, saying Tatsuya's a blade that refuses to stay sheathed and might just be the guy to build that no-war dream he bragged about. Back at the fortress, Haruka teams up with Nightmare to crucify Master to the gods for ditching her, while Queen calls dumb Nico out for being extra, only for Haruka to snap that she didn't fake the pants-soaking terror she felt. Queen reminds her she literally sat in Death Valley for centuries, so maybe chill. Tatsuya changes the subject, saying Hideyoshi, Kuroda, and Iyasu's gang are all eyeballing them, so the squad bails to a post town where Chiyo greets her fake Oyakata. He explains Hideyoshi gave them a silent nod to go exorcise demon boy Kuroda, who's clearly still out there sniffing for Chiyo and Kanako's eyes. Honestly, Kuroda's still out here lurking like a budget Hisoka sniffing out rare eyes. Zuifu then hypes everyone up, saying there's a hidden spiritual power spot at the mountain's foot, courtesy of a little girl who looks way too much like Kanako, and just so happens to have devil eyes, holy peepers that can exorcise bad vibes and even unlock dragon veins for teleport hacks. The kid beams at Tatsuya on her 7th birthday, while Zuifu reveals she's Toshimitsu's daughter, basically a mini holy priestess. With her help, Tatsuya's gang warps to a new place that's dripping with otherworldly magic, enough for Haruka's nose to twitch like she smelled rotten sushi. She clings to Tatsuya, who promises to check it out, leading them straight into Yuman's hidden mansion. The moment Tatsuya steps inside, the old man sniffs the air, muttering that he smells Kate, and grins that the goddess's promise time has finally rolled around. Tatsuya didn't expect getting stronger to mean walking into Yuman's creepy, pitch-black man cave with Haruka whining like a cat in the rain, only to have an old geezer suddenly charge at them like he missed the memo on personal space. The pressure's different, so Tatsuya asks if he's human too, and the guy chuckles that he expected Kate, not her apprentice. One gutbuster punch later, the fossil just dusts himself off like Tatsuya sneezed on him, saying it's been ages since he had company. Turns out, he's Ashiya Yuman's original body, split from the demon riding Kuroda, and casually drops that he's actually Duma, one of the 3 heroes who sealed an evil god with Kate. Queen nearly faints hearing the name, while Tatsuya realizes Kate's eternal smile might not be cheerful mentor vibes, but her way of not snapping. The old man admits he saw the future, freaked out so hard it split his soul, and now he's stuck in Kuroda's limited condition prison where he can't croak, can't leave, and can't even rage quit. Tatsuya admits he only kept going in life because someone mattered too much to give up on, even though his family hated him. And the old man nods, handing him the powers of the great sage like a final save file, saying the future now depends on Tatsuya's moves. Next thing, they're warped back, shocking Zuifu and the MC kid, and the old man's last words echo. The future will shift based on his choice, leaving Tatsuya's chicks pecking him with worried faces, asking if he's okay. Tatsuya's chicks crowd him like he just hit the lottery, waving their hands to check if he's still breathing after bagging the Great Sage upgrade, while Zuifu's staring at the wild sparks in his palms like it's a fireworks show gone rogue. 3 days of scroll silence later, boom! It drops a spoiler bomb about a monster quake popping the keystone tomorrow night. Zuifu's flipping his lid, Oyakata's cooler than iced tea, saying the evac's handled and the dragon veins their one-way ticket home if Tatsuya dusts Kuroda. Kue Ishikawa rolling in with 500 bros, barking that Akechi betrayed them, ready to snatch Tatsuya's head. Tatsuya claps back he's not gunning for the throne, just chasing happiness. Hell, he's stuck in Sengoku without even a girlfriend. Ishikawa calls it peasant trash talk until Tatsuya drops the word prayer, rattling him like a temple gong and dragging up memories of the time he prayed for baby Iyasu's safety when even the kid's own dad didn't give a damn. Hearing Tatsuya back Hideyoshi's no war dream, Ishikawa says screw it. He'll defect for peace, dragging Tokugawa in tow to kill the war before it kills more people, but warns Tatsuya to make that evil spirit eat dirt, cause he's betting all his chips on him. Nightmare pegs Ishikawa's real reason as Tatsuya all along, solving a historical head-scratcher, while Tatsuya grins and salutes him as the ultimate peace junkie who kept the big dogs from tearing each other apart. That night, Chiyo sticker bombs the keystone with talismans like she's decorating for some spooky festival, praying it holds when the dragon vein shakes loose, while Oyakata swears he'll send the crew home even if it costs him his life. Tatsuya's meanwhile juicing his sword like it's pre-workout, only to get roasted by Haruka for trying to pass it to Oyakata after the scroll's spoiler death flag. My man Tatsuya out here juicing his sword like it's Goku's protein shake. Ishikawa drops word Kuroda's crashing Inuyama Castle tomorrow, and he'll stall the army while Tatsuya handles the demon, cause if they choke, the Sengoku turns into a dumpster fire. The girls hype him up, and next day at the spot, Kuroda shows up grinning like a creep who smells gossip, while Queen points cool as ever that Yuman's chilling up top. They charge, and Yuman taunts, asking if his busted vessel ratted him out. Tatsuya just smirks, saying thanks to Yuman's own limited condition, he already knows the playbook. So today, he's not the student, he's the damn teacher. Tatsuya rolls up like the main act, telling evil Human he's here to guide him, though he knows the old geezer's full power hasn't synced yet. He whips out his limited condition, drops his chessboard, and calls in his pieces with murder in mind, flexing two kinds of spiritual juice that makes Kuroda raise an eyebrow. Haruka, now officially one of his pieces, nearly faints when her new power-up actually works, while Queen and Nightmare hoover up magic leaks like pros. Just as Tatsuya's crew starts enjoying Kuroda's meltdown, the bastard flips the board, stabbing Tatsuya with his own piece and bragging it's checkmate. But Haruka dives in, calling her master the Great Sage from another world, while Zuifu slides up all dramatic, saying he finally gets why Tatsuya showed up in this era, because his dumb grin and sheer guts light up the whole squad. Even Queen and Nightmare back him up, reminding Tatsuya he freed them too. With everyone's faith cranking his spirit meter to max, Tatsuya snaps back, flips the match into a 3-player game to keep it clean, and tells Yuman it's lights out. Kuroda tries to drown him in eyeballs, but the barrier fizzles, the eyes start popping like bad bubble wrap, and Tatsuya, now the real deal Great Sage, closes the curtain on Yuman once and for all. Finally, Yuman's down for the count, and the squad's popping off like they just won the lottery until an eyeball latches onto Haruka's chest and she's screaming for her master like she found a spider in the shower. Kuroda's still yapping through it about how humans love wrecking each other and nature, but Tatsuya smashes the peeper like a bug on the windshield, accidentally smacking Haruka's melons too, and calls it a wrap. The quake hits, the keystone shoots up like Mother Nature's party trick, and Zuifu's is like a proud uncle while the gang jumps into the magic portal. On the way, Tatsuya gets dragged into Goddess Wi-Fi, where the Divine Lady tries handing him a King of Humanity badge, but ruins it by saying his next trial is to kill Kanako, the girl he loves. Tatsuya, done playing Cosmic Sims, decks her straight in the face, telling her to shove the blessings because he's making his own path. Fuku shows up shocked, basically saying he just punched a goddess, and explains Kanako's eyes make her a key in world-changing times, though people like her usually become calamities. This girl Kanako got eyes like Naruto prophecy tier, but cursed like she walked straight out of Jujutsu Kaisen's pain factory. Tatsuya swears he'll break that curse and force a new future. Back home, Kanako senses him first, and the whole harem dogpiles him in relief. He wipes Kanako's tears, promises to crush her worries, and after getting dressed, calls up Shimogami and Kashidzu like they're Pokemon, thanks to Zuifu's scroll making him their savior. Everyone's bowing, hyped to see the prophecies guy in the flesh. Tatsuya coolly tells Maya the clans that once hunted his mama now follow him, then drops his next move like a mic. He's sealing the god and ending this cycle of cosmic nonsense. Kanako, worried, asks if he's really okay, and Tatsuya just grins, saying he's only carrying the weight of his choices. After all the chaos, he's finally ready to talk about the most important thing with Kanako,